Dragon Age 2 follows Hawke, someone who is new to a big city and must work their way to the top. Along the way, Hawke meets friends, companions, and yes, some potential romantic partners. Dragon Age 2 has 4 main romance options available to the player character, as well as 1 DLC option. I'll be breaking down the 4 main romance options and ranking them based on my super totally scientific criteria that includes the following. Character depth. Does the character have flaws, motivations, and an existence outside of the romance? Does the character grow and change over time? And is this growth independent of the protagonist and the romance? Emotional depth. Does the romance fit naturally with the plot and shift naturally with the story? Additionally, does the romance feel meaningful and deep, where maybe even it could feel like something is at risk or it requires emotional investment? Finally, relationship pacing. Does the relationship feel forced? Does it feel like it's just added onto the story, or does it fit naturally with the bigger story and the bigger plot of the game? Each of these is going to be ranked out of 5 with a total of 15 points possible for each romance. I will try as much as possible to avoid big spoilers, but may hint at certain things as it relates to the characters and their romances, and let's dive in. Up first is Anders. Anders is a human mage who, due to his magical abilities, has experienced trauma and numerous intense experiences since his childhood. Anders is a romance option for a male or female Hawke. He is determined to escape from the Templar Order, and his struggle with this is his primary focus during the game. Character depth. I gave Anders a 3 out of 5. Anders' focus on freedom and standing up for others is admirable, but Anders is corrupted by a spirit known as justice, which leads him to being increasingly fanatical.
We were going to work together, bring justice to every child ever ripped away from his mother to be sent to the Circle. But I guess I had too much anger. Once he was inside me, he changed.
With the aid of justice, Anders believes that only extreme, violent, and dangerous actions will help him achieve his goals, and it's primarily this that can make his character difficult to understand and support. To avoid spoilers, Anders' focus on his goals can lead to a large amount of harm to innocent lives, and this is an example of how divisive he can be. He's also got quite a brooding personality, which, depending on your preferences, might drive you up the wall. I'm on that side. I just didn't like this character, and I honestly engaged with him as little as possible in most of my playthroughs. For emotional depth, I gave this romance 3 out of 5. Anders is very focused on his goals, and that definitely impacts his relationship with Hawke. While some might view it as having, high stakes or being maybe emotionally intense, what it comes off more to me personally is quite possessive and even aggressive at times. Some players might appreciate Anders' intensity and enjoy that he is a partner who is clear in his beliefs and clear in where he stands with things. I guess at the end of the day, this is going to be up to player preference. For me though, this was a no-go. For the pacing of this relationship, I gave it a 2 out of 5. I mentioned the intensity of this relationship, the possessive nature of Anders. Understandably, this impacts the pacing of this relationship. It can feel a bit like a roller coaster, navigating Anders' personality, reactions to things, and the way he treats the player character and their companions. Additionally, like I said before, Anders will take some drastic steps to forward his goals, and yeah, he'll do that without a lot of communication with Hawke, leading to a betrayal pretty much, which feels even more weird considering that he is portrayed as being so possessive and overly attached to Hawke. All over the place. That's how I would describe this relationship pacing. Overall, I gave this relationship an 8 out of 15. Next is Merrill. Merrill is a Dalish elven mage companion who is a romance option for a female or male Hawke. Merrill is cheerful and optimistic, and she's one of the more naive companions of Dragon Age 2, as she can be quite careless with her interest in blood magic. For character depth, I gave Merrill a 4 out of 5. Merrill is a character with often contradicting traits and actions. She is extremely smart, and yet she can be very naive in her approach to dangerous magic that she doesn't seem to fully understand. Merrill is charming and hopeful, and one of the few companions who sees the world the way that she does, which definitely can make her presence encouraging and refreshing.
I've done a little fighting before, but it was always alone. I'll try not to hit anyone. On our side, I mean. I'm babbling again, let's go.
For the emotional depth of this romance, I gave it a 3 out of 5. There are definitely some issues to Merrill's romance that may put some players off and discourage them from pursuing it. The first, most obvious one is that Merrill's naive, more youthful personality can make her and the relationship feel off. It brings to mind questions of whether she's really in a place where she's ready for a relationship, and even concerns about if the relationship is healthy and safe for everyone involved. On top of that, Merrill's naive approach to dangerous magic, when incorporated into the relationship and whether Hawk is going to be supportive of it or not, can become a lose-lose situation. If you're supportive, you're enabling someone and something potentially very dangerous. But if you're not supportive, the dialogue and interactions can come off as kind of mean and hurtful at times. For the pacing of this relationship, I gave it a 3 out of 5. A criticism that I've seen of this relationship is that it can be too easy to trigger. Basically, it doesn't take a lot of flirtation or build-up to initiate the relationship, which at times can feel unsatisfying or even jarring if you weren't expecting it. Still, if you're looking for a relationship that is easier to trigger than others, then that actually may be a benefit to you. Gonna come down to player perspective here. For me, it's disappointing that this relationship wasn't better because I really like Merrill as a companion and as a character and as a friend, but the relationship is one that does have its issues. Overall, I gave this relationship a 10 out of 15. Next up is Isabela. Isabela is a human pirate captain who can be romanced by a male or female hawk. Isabela is charming, humorous, and can be impulsive at times. For character depth, I gave Isabela a 4 out of 5. Under the external layers of humor, flirtatiousness, I don't know if that's a word, but I'm gonna use it, and impulsivity, Isabela is quite emotionally complicated and even fearful of loss and rejection. Due to life experiences and her own internal drive and compassion, Isabela dislikes those who will harm or oppress others, which is one way that the deeper, more sensitive and caring side of her can come through. Still, some of the impulsive things that she does may lead to harm to others. For the emotional depth of this romance, I gave it a 4 out of 5. Isabela's relationship is sort of a slow burn when it comes to emotionally opening up and getting close in that sense. While physical intimacy comes a bit more easily, it's very fulfilling to experience Isabela open up emotionally and to see a whole other side to her character.
This is your damned influence, Hawk. I was halfway to Ostwick before I knew I had to turn round. It's pathetic.
Her relationship is certainly more fun and a bit more lighthearted than some of the other relationships in Dragon Age 2, which I found to be really nice, and it doesn't take away from the depth, sweetness, and satisfaction that comes with this relationship. For the pacing of this relationship, I gave it a 4 out of 5. The pacing of this relationship is well done. Even the conclusion is satisfying, happy, and encouraging commitments are made by Hawk and by Isabela. It sounds like they're planning to be together, planning to commit to each other, but there are some implications from dialogue in Dragon Age Inquisition that the relationship didn't last or won't last, or at best that the two aren't exclusive and may be taking time away from each other. However you perceive it, it may upset certain players who wanted differently for the romance and who were led to believe that it was going to end differently based on the commitments made at the end of this game. Overall, I gave this relationship a 12 out of 15. Finally, we have Fenris. Fenris is an elf companion and a Tevinter fugitive, having been enslaved to a Tevinter magister known as Denarius. Understandably, Fenris is extremely distrustful of mages.
Escaped a land of dark magic, only to have it hunt me at every turn. It is a plague burned into my flesh and my soul.
Fenris is a romance option for a male or female hawk. For character depth, I gave Fenris a 4 out of 5. Fenris's history of enslavement has left him distrusting of others, particularly mages. He has learned to be resilient, resourceful, and clever. His life experiences have strengthened his ability to rely on himself and to make decisions on his own, which can make him challenging to disagree with or to sway on certain positions. Fenris and Anders share their distrust of others and a more gruff or brooding exterior. The major difference is that Fenris is more open-minded. He is willing to shift with time and to partner with Hawk and their companions, while Anders, not so much. Fenris does feel like a more well-rounded and complicated character, and with time and effort, the player is rewarded for getting to know him better. For the emotional depth of this relationship, I gave it a 4 out of 5. Romancing Fenris is understandably layered and complicated. Fenris is navigating trauma from his past. One of the encouraging things about this relationship is that it can be pursued in a way that is very supportive, with Hawke and Fenris having each other's backs and supporting each other through navigating that trauma, rather than trying to change Fenris or change the way that he feels or responds to things. That can be very lovely and healthy to see play out. The rival-mance is a bit of a different story. I'm just gonna throw it out there. That is one of the reasons why I kind of viewed this romance overall the way that I did. While I'm primarily focusing on the romance, the rival-mance does have some different vibes and different dialogue with it that are worth mentioning here. For the pacing of this relationship, I gave it a 5 out of 5. The pacing of Fenris' romance is well done and quite satisfying for the player. Watching the relationship develop from a hesitant, walls-up relationship to a solid and supportive romance. I will say, Fenris' romance does have its challenges due to his strong stance against mages. The player character may inadvertently upset him with certain decisions, so that's definitely something to keep in mind, but it's not something that necessarily detracts from the overall quality of the relationship or the pacing of it. Overall, I gave this relationship a 13 out of 15. So there you have it. There is a brief exploration of the 4 main romance options in Dragon Age 2. Let me know in the comments who is your favorite romance option in these games or in other Dragon Age games or just in other video games in general. If you like more content like this, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.